What's up guys, it's Eric from B-Slide. Today we have here the STN7028 navigation and video and motion controller. I'm going to be installing to this brand new 2022 Lexus GX 460. We're very excited to install this on this vehicle as they did make a revision on the infotainment system. This is our very first installation. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to install it step by step and also do a quick demonstration on how it works. So let's not waste any time, go inside the car and get started. Alright guys, we're inside the vehicle. The tools we're going to need is a 10mm socket. You could use a wrench. I'm going to use this power tool here. And also some panel removal tools. Just having different sizes will help. And what we need to first do is remove the shift knob. So we're going to come down here and we're going to push down on the shift boot just like that. And just turn it counterclockwise. Just keep turning until it comes off. Alright, there it is. And go ahead and set this aside in a safe location so that you don't scratch it. I'm gonna go ahead and organize this area a little bit. Close the pocket, set this aside as well. And then we're gonna go ahead and pull this panel out. All you have to do is you could do it with your hand. Just go ahead and hold the inside of this panel. Just push it out like this. And you will end up releasing all the clips. So this one doesn't really require a panel removal tool. Just like that. And we're going to do exactly the same for the passenger side over here. Basically, right here, just pull it towards you. Okay. Alright. Pull. Just work your way to the front. And then just carefully remove it. Alright. And then next step, we are going to remove this piece right here. And how you do that, it's all just being held by clips. Just go ahead and get a good hold of this over here. Okay, before we do that, we notice that there's a little clip over here, the piece left. So carefully go ahead and remove this. Make sure you don't drop it inside. If you do, you're gonna have to fish it out. I'm gonna go look for the panel that it came off of, and then we're gonna just push it back in if something like that happens. All right, let me go back to this metal piece. Gotta grab hold of this over here and just pull it up. And this way you can stick a panel removal tool down here, help it push it up, which I didn't need. And then we're gonna go ahead and push down the shift lock and change the gear. Before you do this, make sure your e-brake, your side brake down there, is pressed in all the way, because if you don't and you change your gear while you're doing this, and if you're on an incline, then your car will roll, okay? And that'll be very dangerous depending on where you park your car. So make sure you have your e-brake engaged, push down the shift release, and then go ahead and change your gear all the way down so it gives you more clearance to pull this piece out. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Put it towards you. And just be very careful when doing all this, because you don't want to scratch any of your interior. Then you go down here, there's going to be 3 connectors that you're going to unplug. Alright, like this, like that. And then whenever you're always removing these type of connectors, you're always going to push down on the release tab and pull down from the connector. Do not pull from the cable, because you do not want to end up pulling any of these wires out, which will be really bad. So go down here again, and then same thing, push down on the release tab. Okay, and then you're going to carefully remove these 2 connectors. Alright, and once all that's out, you'll be able to pull this whole piece out like this. Be very careful, don't scratch it. Okay, put it aside, make sure there's nothing around that area to scratch it. And then once you remove that, you'll find this little panel piece here. It's like a filler. Just gonna stick both of your fingers behind it and just pull it towards you, just like this, okay? All right, now we have exposed all the bolts that we need to remove to pull the radio out. It's a 10mm here, another 10mm here, another one here, and then also on the other side, same area where this is, just on the other side. And that is where you're gonna use your 10mm socket with either a wrench. You can use a power tool, okay? And then we're gonna go ahead and just carefully remove those 4 10mm bolts. All right, gotta go ahead and carefully just set it inside this cup holder so I won't lose it. All right, terrific. Okay, next step, we're gonna get a thick blanket like this, okay? Put it right here. what you're basically doing is creating an area for this to lay on so that this will not scratch your interior. At the same time, so this shift knob hole over here won't scratch that. Okay, so carefully stick both of your hands like this and just pull it towards you, just like that. All right. Okay, and just go ahead and pull it out straight. All right, let me go ahead and show you behind the connectors. All right, so let's take a closer look at the connectors behind the radio. So as you can see, there's a lot of connectors back here. The one that we're going to be focusing on, just two connectors, okay? This one and this one, the middle one and this one, okay? All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and unplug them. So just go ahead and once again press down on the release tab and just pull it out like this. All right, and then we're going to do that for the middle one too, okay? Like that. Make sure you don't touch the one all the way to the left. This one is really similar to one of the connectors, and our kit will actually fit on that too, so just be very, very careful not to mess with that. All right, so we have these connectors, and let's go ahead and open our kit. All right, so in here, the harness of our STN7028. All right, and we have like partial of the connectors. Okay, so we're gonna have the full connector, and then we also have one dummy connector like this. Okay, so on our adapter it's gonna be connector A and B. You can't see it unless you remove this casing, but the one with more wires and more colors is gonna be the A. The B is the one with just the green wire, and we're gonna start off with the A. So what we're gonna do is, let's go ahead and work on the factory connector. So the A is the one all the way to the left right here, okay? That's the one to the left. And we're gonna do, we're gonna separate the top part of A from the bottom too. There's 3 rows over here. You could use a little flat screwdriver and put it through the little opening to open it. I'm gonna just use my nails over here, put my finger between it like this. Just be very careful because this could be fragile. You don't want to end up breaking this or deforming this will be very bad. Okay, all right, just like that. And then we are going to grab this. We're going to open this casing over here. You could use a little pin set, a little flathead, or you could use a panel removal tool like this if it's small enough to fit between here. All right, so we open that. The part that's open is going to go in here, just like this. When you connect this, make sure the connector lines up like this, okay? Do not put it in this way. I've seen people do that and things go bad if you do. So line it up, put it the correct way, just like this. Make sure the holes are matching and gently and carefully push it in. There should be no resistance, okay? Just goes straight in like this. All right, and we're gonna cover this up. Okay, just like that. And then we're going to combine the other side of the connector A to the upper factory connector, just like this. All right, and then we're done with A, and we're gonna plug it in afterwards. But before we plug it in, let's work on connector B. So for connector B, instead of separating the top row like what we did for connector, we're going to separate the bottom row, okay? And go ahead and use either a pin set. If you have some nails, you could use some nails too. Just be very careful when you're doing this. You don't want to deform it in any way. All right, just like that. Okay. And for the connector B, we're going to be using this dummy connector. So grab the dummy connector. We're going to connect it like that. Right, terrific. And then the male side of the connector B, this part over here, is going to connect to the bottom side of the factory connector like this, okay? And then on this over here, we're going to open this up and this is going to connect like this. It's okay. Okay. All right, here we go. This is the bottom part of B. It's going to connect like this. Make sure everything lines up. This, all right. Just like that. Right, and let's go ahead and connect these connectors back in. So the B connector goes back into the middle like that, and then the A connector will connect in here. And while you're doing so, do the best you can to organize these cables. So right now I see that this GPS cable is on the way. Oh, this is actually not a GPS, but it's one pin connector on the way. So when I hit unplugged it, just so I have more clearance for this, now I'm gonna go ahead and connect this into it. Just like that. All right, terrific. Now all you have to do is mount this behind the radio. There's a lot of space back here, and we're gonna use this double-sided tape that's included. Okay, we're gonna peel the front side like that, and then stick it back here. And then there's actually, if you stick your hand inside and go up, there's actually a really big open space there, and I'm gonna set this flat onto that. Okay, I feel like a flat box. Go ahead and do that. All right, it's on there, it's not moving. Perfect place to mount it. And then let me go ahead and just carefully reverse order what we just did. And afterwards, let me go ahead and test it and show you a demonstration. Alright guys, so we just finished installing the navigation DVD in motion, this 2022 Lexus GX. Let me show you how it works. So everything is exactly the same. You're not going to notice any changes, but once you start driving and things that are normally grayed out, now you will able to use it and also even see the DVD that's playing on this factory DVD player. So how to operate this, for example, like entering address and so forth, what you want to do is you'll see it, it'll be grayed out, and then you press this call button 4 times. And then you hear that 2 beeps. That 2 beeps mean that the bypass has enabled, and that's when you have access to whichever functions that you want to use while you're driving. And once you're done, you can go ahead and press it 4 times again and it'll disable it. Alright, so there's no timer to this like our old models, so you could just keep it enabled at all times. But if you turn off your car and turn it back on, it will reset back to factory mode, and you will have to press this 4 times to bypass it again. So let's go ahead and turn on the car. Let's go for like a short test drive just to show you how it works. Alright, so we can also do a split screen like this, or you could just make it a full screen. Let me see here, expand. Alright. Or you could go ahead and do it this way, depending on what you prefer. Alright, so just as it is, I'm going to just go ahead and just start driving the car. And make sure this is turned off. Alright, 4 beeps is turned off. So driving here, go ahead and select the movie. Alright, it's not coming out because of course driving. I'm gonna go ahead and bypass it right now by pressing the call button 4 times. Alright, and then there's the bypass. And then go ahead and there it is. And here it is, driving, the DVD is still playing. Alright, and then what you can also do is you can also use the map like this, navigate while you're driving. Alright. If you decide to enter an address, before a lot of these options would have been disabled. Let me show you how it looked before. So I just disabled it. Alright, there it is. Keyboard is not available while driving. Okay, like that. Let me go ahead and enable the bypass. Okay, now the keyboard is accessible. It's now accessible with our STN7028 navigation and DVD in motion. Alright guys, well this concludes our installation demonstration of our STN7028 on this 2022 Lexus GX 460. Any questions, leave a comment below, or you can also email us at info@beachsonicusa.com. Don't forget the USA guys. Have a great one, and I'll see you guys on the next video.